like I said, I just felt alone for like so many years because I feel like there was no one really there helping me help my pops. And when I moved out, it was times where like even now, like I be at my crib at my pop's crib like every other day, just checking in on him, checking in on my family. Um, I don't know why I feel like that. I just felt like if I moved, like I didn't have to deal with it anymore.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a very special guest in the building, bro. Man, you got a record with a platinum recording artist. Man, you've been killing shit here in the city. You were able to open up for Usher over at the United Center. You're the curator for Vibe Variety and PM Radio, and you've just been making a lot of noise in nightlife, not only for yourself but other parties. Introduce yourself, bro.
Go by Kickn Kenny. I'm a DJ, producer, and now going into curating events. Uh, it's like my third year in the nightlife industry in Chicago, so I just constant grind, just meeting people and just surrounding myself with uh just I just got a great supporting cast around me that like push me to do more.
Man, a phenomenal supporting cast, right? But before we get into that supporting cast, I need you to break down how you ended up at the United Center for Usher, because that's crazy.
Shout out Protege, one of my mentors. He just hit me up like on a random. It was on a Monday. He was like, "Yo, like you trying to open up like for Usher?" And this was like I'd never been to the United Center prior to this, and so it was like a pre-show. So it was like in the atrium, right before you go into like the actual the arena part. And I was supposed to DJ on that Monday, but they had already had DJ scheduled. My other mentor, shout out Kid Clay, he had did the next day, the Tuesday. So it ended up working out. I ended up doing the Halloween day on a Thursday, and I ended up getting posted on the United Center's page and all types of stuff. So it was a dope event.
And that's the first time I really was able to witness you, DJ. I walked in that night, I was like, damn, Kickn Kenny's here. That shit was crazy to me.
Appreciate it.
You mentioned this supporting cast, you mentioned all these mentors. How vital has it been for you building these relationships throughout the industry?
I mean, I can't take credit for everything I've done. If I haven't met, you know, Kid Clay, Protege, shout out Shy, shout out Ashley. If I haven't met them, and there's so many others, but if I haven't met them, like I wouldn't be where I am. From learning the not only skills of like getting better, but the business, ultimately the business. Um, I wouldn't be able to navigate to do like so many things that I've been able to do.
What are some of those things, right? Because you've been able to rise at this sort of rapid rate. Like you said, you've only been doing this for about 3 years. Most people aren't doing the United Center within 3 years of starting.
I didn't think I would be doing that within my 3 years, but it's just working hard. Honestly, that really goes to show, and just staying consistent. That's another thing. Consistent and persistent. Um, hasn't been really the best 3 years for me. As far just dealing with life, like life be life, and that's a real thing. But we just gotta push through and just persevere.
You want to get into the life be lifing now or later?
We can start with that. We can do that, man. For real.
Man, before we get there, I really want to break down, you know, your involvement with Ice House and how you've been able to work and grow with them because you're even curating this new event, PM Radio. Break this down. What is that exactly?
My boy Shy, he was the one that originally came up with the idea, and he brought it to me. He wanted to bring like a kind of like a soul election vibe to like nightlife. We're starting in April, and we're starting on a Saturday night, and you're gonna hear typical music, but we want to bring kickback to the club. That's originally like that's what we want to do. People come in, just kick it, listen to nice music. A lot of edits, blends, remixes, more on the R&V type vibe. But on top of that, we're doing a marketing scheme where we're doing it different people, different places. Like we just did it at his boy's house. Invited a couple people. Shout out King and Ness, me and her. She's one of the curators for it too. And me and her did our sets. People just in the background vibing, listening to music, having a great time. And that's more of like our marketing scheme. So we're just trying to bring that to the actual like club per se.
And it looks almost like a boiler room type thing, but at a smaller scale, more chill type vibes.
Yeah, more chill.
So that was Shai's idea.
Yeah, he really pushed me to be like more on the creator side of things, create things with him. And I really appreciate him for that. It's taught me a lot, and it's helped me learn more of what I want to do for like myself in the nightlife, like for years on. Because I know like I'm DJing is not going to be there forever.
Because you're already establishing your own party. You're establishing something that's yours, right? And once you become recognizable with that, it's a brand. You're able to continue that whether you're the person DJing or not. So you bring in a younger DJ. You're only 24 right now, so you're young as shit. You still got years ahead of you, but thinking ahead, it's always the right move because none of this is guaranteed. As a creative, you wake up with the feeling of, okay, I'm going to keep doing this. This is my passion. This is what I love. But when we talk about those slumps, when we talk about life be lifing, there's those periods where it's like, damn, I don't even want to do this no more. And I think that's the scariest feeling sometimes. Because when that happens, it's like, damn, my life's work, everything that I've dedicated my life to thus far. Being 24, it sounds crazy saying that, but if you dedicate 6 years of your life to something at 24, it feels like a lifetime. So doing that and then one day waking up and being like, damn, like, is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? That's a scary ass feeling. I don't know if you've been there yet, man.
I definitely had thoughts where like, man, do I really want to like keep doing this? Cause like it's tiring. Like especially I've DJed 4 or 5 days like in a week straight, like multiple occasions. And I'm starting to get way busier now, but just seeing other DJs what they be doing like day in day out, like they do this full time. I wouldn't say I'm full time, but I still be tired. Like the late nights every weekend, I guess that's not easy to do, and I think a lot of people that see what I do kind of take that for granted. Like yeah, it's cool, but like waking up, you going home 3, 4 in the morning, like every time if you do a late set, and then you gotta wake up, do it all over again.
What do you think's been the hardest part about navigating the industry?
Trying to build your get your name out there. Honestly, like I know, especially when I started. Shout out Eric Boss. He was one of the first promoter that I ever worked with that gave me a chance. And like even working with him, he taught me like consistency, like working hard, going out, talking to people, trying to bring people in. And like I get it. Like even DJs that hit me up now that's trying to get on the scene, they were just like me, like trying like, yo, can I get in? Can I get on this? And it's so easy for me to say yeah, but at the same time, it's not just me running these events. Like I'm collaborating with a lot of people. Like shout out my boy Creed. We run Vibe Variety, so like we always it's collaborative effort. We have to decide on like who we want spinning with us and things of that nature. So just getting your name out there, is I feel like is the number one biggest thing. Everyone's so used to who they know, it's hard to give somebody a chance.
So you think Eric's the one that kind of helped break your name in that sense?
I can't say his name right. DJ Ciento. He was the one that put me in front of Eric Boss, and I got my first start 2 years ago, January 1st. And like I said, with him, it was just a constant effort. Like he's a promoter. He wants you to be able to bring tables every time you book and play what he wants. That's basically what he wants you to do. And it was hard because like I stay in the burbs. When I first started in the city, I didn't know nobody in the city, no DJs, no nothing. So I had to really learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable in these situations, not just learning new equipment, but going out talking to people. Like I used to be shy, like hella shy, but now I've gained accustomed to like having conversations with people, like being more open. So shout out to him for real. That was really a learning experience for like a year straight.
Why do you think it was you were so to yourself?
Just like how I came up, like with my family. My parents split. So and my sister, she like 7 years older than me. So like most of my life, like me as I'm maturing, like through high school, it was just me and my pops. And I don't mean to get like sentimental.
That's what we're here for, bro.
He got a disease, MS, and a lot of times, like I wouldn't say my mom wasn't there for me, but I kind of like just closed myself to where like I didn't want to talk to like nobody. And the times I had with like my friends and stuff, it was cool, but I was constantly, I didn't really go out like that. Like stay out late. I didn't really go to parties like in high school until like I started after high school when I got a car and stuff because I had to take care of like my pop. So the social battery I really only had was when I was in school. So I mean it's difficult like when you going out trying to DJ and like, I still struggle with that sometimes. Like I'm so comfortable after I finish the set just being in the booth with the people I know. I don't be buying bottles like I'm not in sections. Like I don't really be drinking like that. So um I kind of just be comfortable around who I'm comfortable around. But when it comes to time to talk to somebody, I'm gonna talk to somebody.
I mean, it's a skill that you got to develop. You see me outside, bro. When I'm outside, I be chilling. I'm not trying to go talk to the whole world.
Yeah.
Which is something that you have to do in this industry because you got to build those relationships. I know it's like a bad mentality. And this is where I feel like I've gotten a little too comfortable. I feel like I've gotten a little too comfortable to the point where I think that if it's for me, it's going to come to me. Right. So if that relationship is meant to find me, it's going to come to me eventually. Maybe it's not right now, maybe it's not tomorrow, but when the time's right, it will all come together. And sometimes you got to go make shit happen for real. I remember when I first started, I was outside going to events for the sole purpose of meeting people that maybe I could sit down with, right? So like I remember King Inez. I was at a lot of King Inez events when I started. I was at a lot of DJ Drip events. I was at a lot of Jay Santos events. And that was for the sole purpose of, yes, I want to give my support to them, but at the same time, like I know that there's people that are good for networking. And I've ran into those people, those people have just come to know me for what I do. Um, but I think that sometimes as you get deeper and you get deeper and you get deeper, you notice that fire that you started with slowly dwindle. And it goes back to that feeling, that scary feeling of where it's like when you don't have that same passion no more, it's like, what am I really doing this for still?
Yep.
But you mentioned your pops, right?
Mm.
What kind of emotional toll do you feel like that took on you growing up, knowing that, you know, this is something that he has to live with and it's impacting your life as well?
I was aggravated a lot growing up. And I didn't really have no one to like talk to about it. Like I wasn't really open with it with my friends. Even the times I did, it kind of was just like I feel like it was like just a brush off the shoulder. And then again, nobody really wanted to talk about their problems, so I never really brought it up to nobody. But just within myself, yeah, I was aggravated. Like it took. I remember I was in community college, and it took a counselor to really like have me break down and like cry like for the first time. And it was just a bunch of like built up emotion of just a bunch of things. It's kind of like a why me situation. Like why was I put in this situation? And I feel like now I'm matured, and we've put my dad in a better position now. But it was definitely tough, and especially I had dreams when I was in school. I ran track and all types of stuff. So and I had at the time I had dreams to go out and run track, like at colleges or any college that would want me to run track. But I had to put that to the side because I was so worried about my pops, and I was really the only person that was taking care of him. We didn't have like a nurse at the crib, and he was just so used to me helping him. It was just kind of like I was like his safety valve. So when I started DJing in the city, like you said, like going out and meeting people, like networking, and I started to see what I could do in the industry. I had a vision. I had a serious talk with him. I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna lie, like I think I could really do something with this. And we took steps to like help him get a nurse. My sister and my niece and her husband ended up moving like with my pops. I ended up getting a crib with my two of my closest homies. And it's just been a process after that.
Being so young and being forced to understand that this is a problem that's bigger than me. But a lot of those times when we're that young, we shoulder those problems. and we think that we got to be the saviors for everybody else. Do you feel like that created some sort of resentment towards maybe not him, but the people around him, like your family?
I definitely could see that. There's definitely a lot of, I would say, in my opinion, like, oh, I got it, or like Kenny's got it. Let him handle it. Um, and for a long time, I wouldn't say I hated my family, but it was just a lot of, like I said, I was aggravated, not just with my pops and the situation I had to deal with him, but just like with my like immediate family and my sister and my OG. And as I started doing like the DJing stuff, like I told my pops, like I told him, I'm like, we gonna have to start like stepping up. And I'm not really one like to get angry and stuff, but I was like very passionate, especially like about what I do now. And that was like the first time I ever did that. Like I never did that when I was at college or anything. So I definitely had a vision, and I introduced that to them, and they respected it. Cause I feel like no one really sees what we can really do besides ourselves. And I really had to show them that. Even like now, they always ask me what I got going on, and I try to explain to them. They understand a little bit, but don't really know. But I mean, that's fine. Just later down the line, hopefully, with what I'm doing, I could. I mean, I want to save everybody. Everybody want to be Superman, but I know realistically, or it could happen. I don't know, but it's just always just a thought.
And nobody believes at first, man. When I first started this, it seemed like an impossible dream to a lot of people. A lot of people just kind of looked at it as like, oh, that's his hobby. That's what he decides to do with his free time. And as things have progressed, especially recently, now my dad will say something like, oh, like start putting out promos on your page, start, promoting this and start a fundraiser. But those weren't the conversations we were having when this first started. The conversations we were having was, when you're going to start making some real money, And it's not just my dad. It's literally like everybody that is surrounded by me. At first, they looked at it as like, oh, yeah, my boy got this, my boy got that. But it never felt like a serious topic that they took for real. It felt like, I wouldn't say a joke, but it felt like there was some sort of comedic point they were trying to make. And now as things have gone, right, we've been able to do the United Center. We've been able to do Sueños. When there's something physical, when there's something tangible, people start to believe in the same vision that you believed in when you started. And this is all going to get put down on my anniversary post.
Yeah.
Because I think about that a lot. I think about the fact that 4 years ago when I started this was literally just a dream. Just like how 3 years ago when you first started, it was literally just hey, I'm going to try this and see how far I can go. You had that conversation with your dad and you saw the potential. And even if they didn't see it right then, you knew what you had to set out and do. And you set those goals and you made something happen, not only for yourself, but you made it happen for him. And you got him the help and put him in a better position. But with that comes some sort of guilt sometimes. Because now you're taking a load off you, but you're putting that responsibility in a stranger's hands. Did you find yourself feeling guilty about that?
I 100% did. At first I didn't though. I kind of was just like pushing them off. There was a long like I don't know how long, but there was a time where my pops like he can't walk, so it was like a constant like paramedic call that I had to make because like my pops he like bigger, so like I ain't really got. I got strength, but I ain't got enough to like help him out. You feel me? So
But we're small, bro. We're short kings.
short keys, bro. but he ended up going to like a rehab facility, and during that time, like honestly, this is the first time I'm openly saying this, like I didn't feel guilty at all, like not seeing him. I kind of had a little bit of freedom. That was like for the first time, like I didn't have to wake up super early. Like I was waking up super early, like helping him, like as if I was like a home caretaker. And then I had, on top of that, I had to go to school and all types of stuff. This is like the first time I really felt like free. Didn't feel guilty at all. I think, and it was weird because years later when I finally got my crib last year, and my sister started taking over before like his nurse actually came, I started to feel guilty. It took me after all those years, after I graduated high school, to feel like that. And I kind of was like, damn, like why do I feel like this?
Why did you feel like that?
I don't know. I think I just didn't really appreciate my family, honestly. Like I said, I just felt alone for like so many years because I feel like there was no one really there helping me help my pops. And when I moved out, it was times where like even now, like I be at my crib, at my pop's crib, like every other day, just checking in on him, checking in on my family. I don't know why I feel like that. I just felt like if I moved, like I didn't have to deal with it anymore, and it just wasn't the case. I felt like I needed my family more than ever, like because I got friends, but I really don't have no one close enough that I probably like one or two, but not one, not any to like on my hands. Like no five close friends. I probably got two. But even then, I'm not open enough to tell them about anything rather than why I can tell my family.
And there's nothing like that love that you get from your family, right? I think a lot of the times when we're in our 20s, we search for this external love. We search for this validation from people who, for some reason, we think are going to love us more than our family does. We think that these people are going to be the reason why we're successful in life, that we're going to feel fulfilled with everything that we ever accomplished. Because that's why we have social media. That's why we do what we do. That's why we entertain people, because we feel like if they love us just as much as we haven't been loved by certain people, we'll feel okay. I think that part of me creating this was trying to fill a void that I didn't think I needed to be filled. I always told myself, like, I don't need nobody else except my family and me and everything that I got going on, right? But when you put something out into the world, when you're putting something out that's just as vulnerable, whether that be an expression of music, whether that be an expression through words, you're hoping that somebody understands how you feel and they'll be able to say, like, damn, me too, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when I break down these lyrics and I talk about, what I've been through in my life, I want somebody to really sit there and be like, damn, if he's going through it and he gets up and he does this shit, why can't I? You've surrounded yourself with an amazing supporting cast. We talked about Ice House and Shy, but we need to touch on Ash a little bit, right? How did you guys get involved working together?
I don't know exactly what event she heard me at, but I know for a fact she heard me spin at, one of the Roof on the Wits. And, when we did New Year's Eve together, she was there as well. And New Year's Eve was the day, I asked her, like, yo, I really want to work with you. I love everything that you're doing. And she told me the same thing. And from there, I told her, we met, we talked, and I told her straight up, like, I want this. Like, I see myself more than a club DJ. I want to build a brand for myself that can be everywhere. And I presented her with a vision, and she gave me one, and we kind of been locked in. Like ever since we talked about that, it's still like a learning, still like a learning process with everything, but she's been really great and helpful, and I really appreciate her for that.
What do you think it was she brought to the table that you needed to elevate to the next level?
I feel like she really provides like that extra push. Like she knows the industry, and I feel like I needed someone that really knows that, as well as someone that's genuine. Like I'm all for a genuine vibe. Like even when I was coming up, and I was like, that starting DJ, asking people like, well, where can I get a gig? I started to realize like, no, that's not where you really go about things. Like I really need to go out and just be myself and actually learn, like be cool with people, actually learn about these people. And they'll throw you the lob. And anybody that I meet, like in the industry, I'm not looking for a handout or anything. Like I really be cool with people. Like there's many people that I work with that, haven't booked me for anything or stuff like that. But with her, I just really appreciate like her work ethic and her mindset from like everything that we talked about. And she's always be like, "Well, call me anytime. Text me any idea that you have. Like, just give it to me, and we can work on it." So I appreciate her for that.
You need somebody that's going to believe in you just as much as you believe in yourself. And even at times believes in you more than you believe in yourself. I think finding the right business partner is one of the hardest things you can do in this industry because you don't know who has your best interest at heart.
Yo, yeah,
Ash definitely got everybody's best interest at
yeah.
heart. Even people that's like she's not formally working with, you know, she's definitely thrown me some lobs. So I appreciate her. Shout out Ash. When you're looking for that business partner, you're looking for somebody that's gonna help elevate you. You're looking for somebody that is gonna keep you pushing. Before working with Ash, what do you feel like was one of the things that halted your growth?
One of the things that I really wanted to work with Ash about was, my brand. Like, how can I present myself in a way that's, um, like I said, more than just working in the clubs or working at bars. Like, I see myself. I would love to work DJ for like the Grammys or BT Awards or even like the NBA, like the Bulls or stuff like that. Like, how can I present myself in that way, and what do I have to do to take that next step? Before that, I was just more focused on getting booked for like more gigs, more clubs and stuff. And I didn't really have a problem with that. I kind of was still building my name, which I am now. But I feel like now I kind of have, I wouldn't say leverage, but people are starting to see that I'm doing way more than when I was doing 2 years ago, even a year ago. Like, they started to see I'm more on that curator role, um DJing. I'm starting to collaborate with more events.
I think trying to find your place in an industry that isn't the most welcoming at times is the hard part. And that's why you got to be authentic. That's why you got to be yourself. When you're yourself, it attracts the right people. This the same way me and you booked this shit is the same way I booked Shies. You know, I just met him. I met you. It was cool vibes, right? And when you're genuine with people, it makes you want to work with them. That's why we were able to put this together so easily. You know, sometimes you try to book other shit and it takes months to do it. And I don't know whether it's because there's just not a familiar relationship there or maybe somebody, maybe sometimes it's just when it's business at first, it's hard to establish a business relationship with somebody you don't know. Because again, you want to work with people that you trust. You want to work with people that know you and have your best interests at heart. But when coming up, you work so hard and you work yourself to the bone. And even at that point, you still feel like it's never enough. That's that being 23, being 22, being 24 mentality, right?
Yeah.
You work every day in this career and it's like, damn, but it's not enough because I see somebody else that does the same exact thing as me and they get so much more love from everybody else than I get from anybody. Why do you feel like it's never enough for you?
For a long time, even when I started college, like, I never really know what I wanted to do. After high school is when I really started like DJing like events, like parties, and I was doing weddings and stuff. But even then, I still didn't even know where I could take it. Like, I remember I was DJing like a college event, and I was talking to like my advisor, and he was telling me, he's like, you could do something with this DJing stuff. I didn't really see it. Like, I didn't really see myself DJing clubs or just being in Chicago like at all. And then like now it's kind of like surreal. I'm still like, I have a vision now of where I want to go with it, but it's still kind of like surreal to me. Like, even last year, it kind of, I really wasn't doing what I'm doing now as far as like hosting events and stuff. I kind of was just just hustling to get gigs, which I feel like you'll always do that. But I know I got to the point where I was just overworking myself. Like you said, that 22, 23, 24 mentality. It's just a grind. Like, we just push ourselves to the limit. I ended up pushing myself too much to the limit, man. I remember like it was yesterday. I ended up getting in a car crash, falling asleep behind the wheel after DJing a gig. and that kind of was a wake up call. Cause even like my first year DJing, I was working at a factory, and I remember I would DJ 3 to 4 in the morning, and then I would go to the factory that was like 25 minutes away, sleep in my car, and then go to work, and then you know, and then I wouldn't sleep at all until I got home at 4 or 5 o'clock, and I would sleep sleep my day away. So I was dealing with that for like a good minute, and I ended up getting in a car crash, and that was like really, like I said, a wake up call for me. I was like, all right, I gotta really take care of myself. It was like a 5 person crash.
5 person crash.
Yeah, like I
Damn.
fell asleep, hit a truck,
Your
bro.
ass was on the news.
Bro, probably I don't even remember, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, thankfully, no one passed away. I came out no scratches, thank God. Um, but I remember just waking up. It was too late. Hit a truck, spun out. Car hit me. I flipped over, and then yeah, bro, it was crazy, bro. And like I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't remember falling asleep, but I remember waking up and it was too late. I tried to break and everything. Like a shorty had to come from our car, get me out the car. I was
So
like,
you remember flipping?
yeah, like I remember waking up, spinning out, car hit me. I remember like flipping over, and I was just in the grass. And when I got out my car, I seen like another car smack another car. It was crazy. Like it was like really like some movie stuff. Like I ain't never witnessed that before in my life. So um that was like a real wake up call. Like I was really messed up in the head about that for some months.
How do you feel like it impacted you mentally moving forward?
At the time I was very like, bro, how am I gonna get to my gigs? Like what I'm gonna do? Like I didn't have a car, and it took me like a month to get me like a new car. And even like, me getting a new car, I'm still making payments for the other car I had because I didn't have what they call it, gap insurance. I was so thinking about what I was gonna do rather than the moment. Like in the moment, I was stressed out. I ain't gonna lie. I remember texting my group chat. Like I didn't even text like my family, and I texted them and I was like, bro, like I just got in a car crash. Like I was like, my life is over. Like nothing, and I wasn't even drinking. Like I just fell asleep, and I really thought my life was over. I thought it was over after that because I was at fault. Like I fell asleep. Like what am I doing? But after that, it was like long nights. Me just in bed, didn't want to do nothing, didn't want to talk to nobody. Um, I didn't really talk to nobody for real about how I felt. Not even like my family. Like they kind of consoled me, but it was, I don't know. I've dealt with a lot of like my problems on my own, but even though that was different, I still kind of was just like, all right, what I'm gonna do next? It's weird, but I really never took time to like sit and just appreciate myself.
Why'd you feel the need to hold it in though? Why not open up to somebody?
I don't know, bro. I think it was just everything I had going on. Like I had just got a new place with my people. I was like in and out of jobs. But simultaneously, when I got in a car crash, I got let go from the warehouse job. So I was thinking about like how am I get my bread. Like I was just relying on DJing checks, and how am I was the job market was messed up. Like I was looking for jobs. Like I got experience for so many different things, but nobody was trying to like hire me. And then like I said, I live in the burbs, the city like 45 minutes away from me, so I'm paying for Ubers like $100 like every time trying to get to sets. Like it was one person that I asked to take me to a set. I had got my crash was on a Sunday night going into Monday morning. And that same day, later that day, like while I'm in like trauma, like in bed, not trying to talk to nobody, I got booked for like a gig that I've been wanting to DJ at forever.
What was the gig?
Blind barber.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked I asked like one or two people if they could take me. They're like, oh yeah, cool. And then later down the line, they were like, oh, something came up. And I never hold that against them. Like stuff come up. But that was a sign I'm like, I really just gotta do this like on my own. Like I'm gonna find a way. That's just what my mindset was for like a long time. Like I just gotta find a way.
I'm the type of person who hates relying on people. If I can do it myself, I'll do it myself. And I think that, especially in today's age, we live in a world where everything's transactional. People only want to give when you give out. There's this saying, right? You're only as good to somebody as what you've done for them recently.
Hmm.
So if nothing's been done for them recently, they're not gonna look out for you the same way you'd look out for them. And I think that unfortunately it's the sad reality, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act like a hypocrite. I definitely am somebody that looks at it as like, well, at what point have you looked out for me? Or when you looked out for me, did you really look out for me? Or what was your agenda? I know it's such a toxic way to think, but sometimes it's just so hard to separate the good and the bad because when there's a lot of bad, it's like, how can I only acknowledge the good? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
No, yeah, I'm listening. No, for sure, I'm listening. Yeah.
You would hope that the people that you thought you could depend on will make sure to follow through on something, especially after the night you had. Unfortunately, they didn't. Those are still relationships you have.
One, yeah, because he ended like later down the line, he ended up helping me. One, I would say, yeah, we cool. We just don't talk as much.
Do you feel like part of it was because of that situation?
I definitely at the time I definitely feel some type of way. Uh, but like I said, I'm very understanding. Like I understand life happens, stuff come up.
I think for me, I developed this idea of people reciprocate the same love that you give to them. At least it should be, right? And as time has gone on, I've learned that it's an unhealthy thing to think that love is reciprocal. The way that you're going to get hurt is expecting you out of somebody else. You can't expect you out of somebody else. By doing that, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're only setting yourself up to get hurt, right? Because the same expectations that you were raised with, the same expectations that you've instilled in yourself or that have been instilled in you, nobody can live up to those, especially when you don't communicate that. And that's a lot of people's problem is they don't communicate their expectations to people. They just expect them to understand like, hey, I need this from you. And if I don't get this from you, like we're done. But taking it back to the music end, taking it back to this career end, right? There's this song by Chairman Allen. He used to go by Allen the Official. That feeling, he says, what really pushed you to the edge? Is it the life that you was living or the life you wish you lived? And then he says, my dreams is haunting me. Show me what I want to be. Show me what I'm going to be. Show me everything before I wake up and I slave to a job that don't put much up on my pay stub. Right. And throughout this song, he's talking about this situation where it's like, am I mad about the life that I'm forced to live? Am I mad about the life that I chose to live? Am I mad that I didn't get to live the life that I wanted to live, right? And as creatives, as people that chase something for so long, right? Say we don't get it by 30, say we don't get it by 35. I'm still living the same life that I chose to live because I wanted to chase something for so long. And am I really mad about the fact that I chased it and I didn't get it? Or am I mad that it should have been mine? Right? I forgot where I'm going with this, but we talk about being 25-year-olds, we talk about being 24-year-olds and pushing for greater things, but at the same time, like life lives. And when life lives, we break down. And we break down in silence almost some of those times. When looking back, what's a moment where DJing felt far away from being a reality? It felt like this really might be it. I might have to give it up.
I'd say, um, my early my early moments was like DJing, like my first year. Like I thought, the first promoter I worked with, I thought all were like that. I was kind of naive. Like I said, I didn't really know. I didn't know nothing at all about Chicago nightlife. I didn't know nobody, no DJs, no promoters, and I thought it was all the same. And I kind of was just like, I don't think this is something I really want to do. At the same time, on outside looking in, I got like people that I went to school with. They said, "Oh, that's so cool. Oh, you making all this money, blah blah blah," and it's like, no, it's not really like that. A lot of stress and struggle that goes with it. I definitely thought about giving it up a few times. Like, do I really want to do this? Uh, club life don't really it's not really for me. Like the in the moment it's thrilling. Like seeing being able to control the crowd like that and play hits and them like, praising you for like doing a good job. It's definitely dope. But, after that, it's kind of like, damn, it's really just be in that moment. Like it's really nothing else after that. Like I don't see myself doing this like years. And don't get me wrong, like people that do that are actually like a full time DJ that do that, it's cool. But I didn't see myself like doing that. Thankfully I met the people that I met, and they helped me see like it's more than just you know being a DJ. Like I don't want to be just known for a DJ. Like I want to, it'd be cool to like influence doing other things, like things I'm doing now, like hosting events. I'm back in school, like for like marketing stuff like that.
What's the most recent moment you felt like you wanted to give it all up?
It's like you were saying earlier, parents thinking like, oh, they worry about like the money coming in, like, are you making like a living with it? Um, that's like always on my mind. I'm very like serious about who I work with and like my worth. Like I'm not no super DJ. Like I only been in the industry for this like my third year, 2 full years fully, 2 years fully. So really, only thing that's really on my mind is like, is this really worth it? Like, could I make something more out of this, like money wise? As far as like actually doing it, I haven't thought about like not doing it. That was probably like my early stages, like when like my first year.
Man, you're lucky. I never thought about it when I was early on. I don't think I ever really had the thought of stopping until I was about, I'm going into year 4. So like year 2, year 3, year 2 after my event, after I threw my first event and it just didn't go how I wanted it to. I literally didn't even make a thank you post for like 4 or 5 days. And it just, after that, things kept feeling like they were going left. We kept having people cancel on us for like 3 weeks in a row. So it was like, damn, like, am I really like walking in my purpose? And then things picked back up, everything started going smooth. And then last year happened and life hit me like a fucking truck. And I was really in that moment like, is this going to make me happy? At the end of the day, is this going to fulfill me? If I were to stop today, who would care? Because I put so much time and effort. I put so much of my literal time into this. I've sacrificed relationships. I've sacrificed moments with my people that unfortunately I won't get back. And that's the life a lot of us live. That's the life a lot of people live. People who are chasing something that isn't guaranteed to them. They wake up and they choose something that they genuinely felt passion for. And when it feels like it doesn't love you in return, it's like, well, damn, do I just stop? So I'm glad you haven't had to feel like that.
I feel you on that point as far as hosting events. There's been plenty of times where for Vibe Variety, me and my boy Creed, we've had small like people show up to our events. And it's kind of like that, like damn, nobody really like mess with us. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, how we gonna plan for the next one? I try not to dwell on like stuff like that. So I mean, it's probably something that I'm not even thinking about, but that I'm missing. But honestly, yeah, like right now, I'm kind of just on the. I got a vision, and I see, you know, I'm thankful for like Ashley and and her really pushing me to like, you could really do something with this, and she sees something in me that I don't see in myself. So I'm like, okay, I gotta push myself.
So in your message to me, you mentioned that you really want to do this for the youth. You really want to encourage the kids out there. Why do you feel like that's become so important to you?
Honestly, like the job I have now, like I work in a middle school, and I feel like I've done of a good job of talking to kids, learning about them, and a lot of them, kids or the youth, they want to know like what the older staff does. So like a lot of these students that I work with, they found like my Instagram and stuff, and you know they think it's pretty cool. They see what I do, so I kind of like try to put my brand in a way that, like I said, is brandable for everybody. Like I want to inspire. Like I was just talking to a student today, and he was telling me about the things he see on my Instagram, and I was telling him everything that I do outside of just DJing. Like yeah, I DJ, but I was able to do this, that, and talk to this, him, her, and these so and all these other people because of what I do. And he's like an athlete, and I was telling him, you know, because you play sports, that's not like don't let that limit you. Like you can do many other things. So um I kind of think of like Kai Cenat and how he's like a streamer, but like he does so many different things, and he's an influencer. That's kind of how I want my direction to go with what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I DJ, but I also do this and that, and I want the youth to see that and be like, oh, I don't have to just
Stay in my lane.
stay in your lane. I don't have to just go to school. Well, which I am going to school.
Do you feel like you're trying to be the role model that you didn't have?
I love my pops. He's gave me great advice, but I definitely came to. I wouldn't say I have a role model right now. Like I don't really know. I definitely have people that I admire, with their goals and stuff, but I wouldn't say I have a real role model that I follow. I kind of just go on with the flow, but I do know what I want for myself. So I definitely agree with you. I want to be the role model that I didn't have.
A lot of the times we want to give people what we didn't have. Maybe that's why I like being fucking a hood therapist, bro. I like to provide people with those conversations that I always felt like they were tough to have. Nobody wants to be talking about their feelings because it wasn't the cool thing to do, especially growing up like when we did, right? When social media first came up, before things were being canceled, like you would get called certain words for being soft and emotional, right? So I think that being able to express that and being able to give that opportunity to others, that's why I do this. That's where I was able to feel fulfilled. But when you give so much of yourself, when you give so much of your time and effort to other people, you still have to navigate life. Through all of this, you had to navigate going through that car accident. You've had to navigate dealing with your personal family issues. You've had to deal with maintaining relationships. Throughout this journey, what do you feel like is the most important thing you've learned about Kenny?
I've grown accustomed to just doing things like on my own, for so long. But it's okay to you know open up to people a little bit. Um, like I was like even like when we met, it wasn't really like a deep conversation, but it's I found it like super dope. Like I recognize you like even when I was DJing. It's a lot like when we DJing. I'm like so locked in. But there's those moments where you're scanning the room looking. And I remember I recognized you. And I was like, yo, what's up? And I knew I recognized you from somewhere and it actually told me. So even when we were talking, I was like, oh, it's cool. And then, afterwards we chopped it up. We went to Chalet, chopped it up some more. And like I said, I never really was like that. So I've grown accustomed to like opening up to people and not just holding everything in. And for myself, like closed mouths don't get fed in a way. Um, and I've been told that like this whole like 3 year span of me in the DJ industry, and I'm starting to see that because I'm kind of like a person like I always feel like I'm a bug like when I'm especially when I first started like oh I'm a bug I don't know if it want to bug me or I'm a bug I don't want to keep blowing up his phone for like a payment or something. But it's like, bro, this like business. Like this is like I'm older now. That's another thing. I really have to I forget that I'm 24, that I'm an adult. Sometimes it don't feel like that. Like it's crazy because I was just thinking about this like the other day, like with my roommate, and I was like, tell him, I was like, bro, like it don't feel like I turned 25 in June. It don't feel like that. Like I still feel like I'm still learning, and that's okay. I feel like when we graduate high school and going into college, we're supposed to figure out everything like right then and there. Especially like, but that's really not the case.
Literally in the blink of an eye, you're just a grown ass adult. And people start expecting certain things from you. And even if you carried yourself a certain way growing up, there's just different procedures that you learn. And it's like they're unspoken rules that were never told to you. You just had to learn it one day. You just woke up and somebody said, okay, this is what you do now. Start following this, and you'll be okay in life.
That's what I learned about myself. It's okay to grow. Like like I said, I'm 24. I'm still learning. Everybody, I got people around me that be traveling the world. They doing all this, so many amazing things. Not that I'm stuck doing what I'm doing. Like I'm in a great path, but I kind of not. Especially when I first started, I kind of was like, damn, like I gotta work. I gotta work. That's probably why I got into the car crash in the first place because I was so focused on, oh, I need to book a gig. I need to work with this many people. Like I can't let up. But I didn't really take the time to just really just enjoy it and just like okay, like it's okay to take like not take this long, but it's okay to pace myself.
And you don't have to be where other people are, right? I think that once we graduate high school and once we graduate college, you really start to observe where other people are in their lives. And you think that, damn, just because I'm not here, it means that I'm behind. And like I said, man, I really don't remember the last time I felt those ways. I don't remember the last time where I looked at somebody and said, like, I need to be where they are. Or, damn, they got to do that. Man, why can't I do that? I think when I was younger, when I was 21, when I was 22, I really sat there and I thought, like, damn, why are people able to do all this cool shit? And then I started doing cool shit. And it was like, okay, like, I'm on the right path, man. And you're on the right path too because you get to do the cool shit too. You get to DJ the United Center. You get to fucking create these parties and provide something for you get to provide a space for people where they get to lose themselves. But I need you to remember to always take care of yourself, man, because you can't be getting into no more car crashes.
Nah, yeah, I've been pretty taking that pretty serious now.
What do you do to maintain that mental health aspect? Because you work in an industry where there's not a lot of real love.
Drake had a line in one of his songs, and he was like, I don't know what song it was, but he was like, I don't take naps. So for a long time, I had this mindset of like, damn, Drake not taking naps. Like I can't nap. Like no cat. Like for real. Like I can't nap. Like I have to work, work, work. So now I take my sleep like very seriously. Like even during the week, if I know I have time to like get early rest, like I'm gonna take it. During if I have like day parties or anything going on the weekend, I take it time to like really get my rest in. Um, of course, like DJing late nights. If I want to go out and see other DJs, support, catch up with people. But if I know I need like rest, especially if I get up the next morning, like nah, I'm gonna go get my rest. Like I learned that it's okay to take time for yourself.
Man, I appreciate you sliding, bro. You got anything you want to plug real quick?
Follow me on Instagram, Kickn Kenny. All my events, everything that I do is on there.
Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.